And that's that. Springboks finished the 2025 campaign with a dominant performance by a final score of 73-0 over Wales in Cardiff. First off, I just want to thank everybody this whole year who've continued to support this channel, the changes it's gone through, all this kind of thing. I do continue, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for still following. It's always this time of year that's rough for me because it's the holidays, but it's also rough because that's it. No more test rugby for the year, and you guys know me. I've always been much bigger on test rugby than club rugby. I just don't, it doesn't have the same flair, and I know some of my older followers definitely agree with me on that one, that it is all about test rugby. It's always going to be about that, and I'm always going to enjoy that way more. As you can see, no mattress. You can see the progress finally coming together here in the studio. I'm going to reorganize a bit more to where you don't see anything except a wall behind me, and we'll go from there. But let's go ahead and get into this one. There's quite a bit to unpack in this one, obviously with that many points scored. But we'll go ahead and get started off in the 3rd minute. Penalty on the Springboks. They elect to do the scrum, and Wales draws the scrum penalty on the Springboks. I kind of wrote in my notes there, there you go, Ireland. That's how you get a scrum penalty against the Springboks. I do have to mention, Wales did win 2 scrums in this game. It's really the only positive to really say about them. But 3 minutes later, South Africa shows their scrum dominance once again. We do kick to touch. After multiple phases, Gerhard Steenekamp does cross out right. Sasha, money on the day so far, 1-on-1 kicking it a 7-0, 8 minutes into this one. 5 minutes later, after a scrum advantage, Valemza deep run off to Ethan Hooker, who scores his second in the green and gold. Sasha does nail it, 14-0. This is at 13 minutes into the game. Kind of see where this one's going. Kind of a bit of back and forth. I do have to mention, man, Wales really, those young players for Wales showing a lot of heart in this game, never giving up the fight. But off the scrum, after a Welsh offside, Jasper Wiese crosses under the post at the 30th minute. Sasha, of course, money 3-3, 21-0 at the 30th minute. We do go into a bit of extra time in the first half. At the 41st minute, Wales go offside deep. The ref does pull Lake, the captain, over and says, hey, you guys need to clean up your discipline a bit. We go to the scrum to South Africa. Morny Vandenberg picks up the scrum, crosses under the post. Sasha 4-4. We go into halftime 28-0 all over this one. 42nd minute to start the second half. Penalty early leads to a Bok lineout. Tan Plumtree does draw the yellow, but in the process, Vilko Low does cross out left. Sasha does nail it, 5-5. It's 35-0. And then we get to see
and more impact coming from the Springboks. This is a beautiful sight. It's an incredible sight.
Well, fire up the air raid sirens. Here comes the nuke squad, all on at once. The fearsome sight of the South African substitutes entering the field of play. There is the man earning his 50th cap today.
Wait.
11 years ago, he wore the green and gold jersey for the first time, and today he makes it 50. Kobus Reinach. Congratulations, sir.
It's been a good shift for these men that started.
Congratulations to Kobus Reinach, 50th cap, but the bomb squad comes on. At the 45th minute, Sasha sees a space with a man up during the yellow card, the Plumtree yellow card. He does cross under the post. He is 6-6 kicking. It's 42-0, 45 minutes into this one. 48th minute. Kanan Moody, just a lot of lackluster defense, still up a man. He chases down his own kick deep. They do go to the TMO to see if there is a knock-on. There is not a knock-on. Sasha does nail it, 7-7 on the day so far, 49-0 at the 48th minute. 53rd minute, Andre Esterhuizen crosses out wide right with an assist from Quokka Smith. The TMO does check. Wainwright gets a yellow for a shoulder to the head of Sasha Feinberg. It does go to the bunker. Sasha does miss the conversion kick, 7 of 8. It is 54-0 at the 53rd minute. 4 minutes later, Wales showing some real grit. Multiple phases. Boks go offside. Like I said, putting together 11 plus phases deep in the Springbok side. But ultimately, after a restart, they turn the ball over and nothing to show for it. Still 54-0. We find out a minute later the Wainwright card that went to the bunker does remain a yellow card. I did agree with that. 4 minutes later, Sasha gets his second of the night. As Wales just fall apart defensively, it's kind of becoming a standard here. It was just too much. He does convert. It is 61-0 at the 62nd minute. 7 minutes later, Ruan Nortkia crosses out right after a scrum. It does go to the bit of a TMO, but they kind of just, nothing's seen there. Sasha does nail it, 9 of 10 kicking on the day so far, 68-0 at the 68th minute. 6 minutes later, Eben Etzebeth crosses once again after a Welsh failure at scrum. Sasha does miss the kick, 9 of 11 on the day, and the score is 73-0. Now, 4 minutes later, 4.5 minutes later, a bit of a scuffle on the field, and the boogeyman plays the part, and will probably, he'll probably be out for a while. It was an eye gouge with the thumb. Automatic red card. No question. There's no bunker. We all saw it. And I have to say that I am extremely disappointed in Eben's activity with that. Absolutely uncalled for. That was not what a veteran of his skill sets should be doing. But a minute and a half later, whistle is blown. Final score 73-0. This is the worst loss in Welsh history at home ever. It's not their worst loss in history, period. I did have to look that up. Back in 1998, they lost 96-13 to the Springboks as well. Their record loss at home was a 55-22 beating by the All Blacks in 2022. We obviously eclipsed that by a lot. I'm not going to take a whole lot away from this game. We all knew where Wales was. We will not gain any points. We gain nothing from beating them. What I do want to bring up is obviously Eben's discipline. That was absolutely terrible by Eben. He will definitely get a minimum of 4 games for this. It was a thumb to the eye. Now, I know he's got 140 plus caps. I get that. He is a veteran, but you expect those veterans to show a little bit more. And I got it, man. Wales, they were getting absolutely housed. It was a lot of young kids on that team. And they were upset, and I don't blame them. We would have been in the exact same position had it been the tables were flipped. We would have been the exact same way. Now, you could say, well, we didn't do that in our 57-0 loss in New Zealand. Yeah, but that's a little different. Losing 73-0 at home, you could hear the fans. They were booing the last 20 minutes of the game. They were not happy, and I understand. I get it. But once again, I bring up that 57-0. That was 8 years ago. Wales, you will recover. You have a lot of heart. That's the one thing I can hand to the Welsh team. They got a lot of heart. And that goes a lot farther than you think. If you've got young guys on this team, had they had their top guy players, do I think this would have been that? No, it would not have been. But if we had had our top players, yeah, it wouldn't have been close then either. Wales showed a lot of grit, and they showed a lot of heart, and I tip my hat to them. I always love playing Wales. Wales is not one of those teams that I look down upon, and I never will. I've always liked Welsh rugby. I always liked Alan Wynne-Jones. I thought Dan Biggar was great. They had a great run. They were the number 1 team at one point, 2019. They beat the Springboks in Rassie's first game in DC under the worst weather conditions ever. It was terrible. It was cold and wet. It was not a fun game. But obviously you're seeing the difference in the two teams right now. The Springboks are on top of the world and Wales is just trying to find their feet. Yes, they did get a win over Japan in this end of the year series, but I think it was all for naught. But I saw a lot of heart out on that field today, and I tip my hat to the Welsh. And is this how you always want to end with a win? Do you want to end with a win like this? I'm sorry, but Eben's activity at the end of the game kind of put a little bit of a black eye on this game. It kind of took it away a bit. But with that being said, no changes in the rankings. We will end the year ranked number 1 by over 3 points over the All Blacks, who are the second-ranked team. We will not gain any points between now and the next test we play. You will see a change in the rankings a bit during the Six Nations, provided England does win enough and win by big enough margins. They may be the number 2 team come the summer tour, come the Autumn Nations tour, that or whatever, or the Nations Championship, whatever the hell they're calling it. We may be facing the number 2 team, and based on their fan base, they are chomping at the bit for a chance at us, and I am ready for it, more than ready for it. The controversy around that team has been just as big as us lately. The stuff with Tom Curry, the stuff with the youngster Pollock. They have become the Northern Hemisphere a variation of what we are. They are the hated team. We are the hated team. So I bring it, and that closes out this year. I will do a post-season video just to kind of go through all the games, the highs, the lows that we had this year, but we definitely end this year with a win, but maybe not the prettiest win. And once again, I mentioned the discipline by Eben Etzebeth as a black eye a bit. But I appreciate each and every one of you once again, and we'll talk again real soon. Cheers, guys.